To the Real Estate Show with Pat Lopez, where we talk everything real estate. Today, my guest is Ed Rogers from Honest Real Estate. Ed, welcome to the show.
Pat, it's a pleasure to be here. Thanks again for having me on for the second time.
Great. Now, this is my anniversary, 1 year anniversary, and I thought it was only appropriate because you were on the first show to bring you back again. Yeah. And we'll talk about, what happened in 2023 and what you think is going to happen in 2024.
Sounds great.
Perfect. So before we get into that, just tell me a little bit about Honest Real Estate, how long you've had the brokerage, and how many agents, that kind of thing.
So we've opened Honest Real Estate. It was November 1st was our 5-year anniversary. Currently, right now, we have 2 locations. We just opened up a second location in the last couple of months, and we have about 15 active real estate agents with us right now.
Great. Now, I remember when we last talked a year ago, you had around 80 or so, right?
Yeah, I think it was around 80. Yeah. So now we're up to about 115.
And then what caused you or why did you say, hey, let me open up a second location? Where's that location and why?
Second location is in the Bridesburg section of Philadelphia. So it's 2582 Orthodox Street. We realize that we have agents that are located in Bridesburg, Port Richmond, Fishtown area, and where our primary location is in Parkwood, just a little too far for them. So we open up the second location, try to give more convenience for agents and clients to have a centralized meeting location.
Right. And with all this technology, everything, real estate is still local, right?
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. No,
or else why open up a second location?
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I hear a lot, that, hey, the internet, Zillow, like every time this new thing comes about, people think that, hey, the realtor's going to be gone. But ultimately, it always comes back to people, relationships, and I really don't think that's ever going to go.
I believe that having a location for agents to go actually helps them become better agents, because they can come in, they can collaborate with each other, bounce ideas off each other, whether it's lead generation, follow-up, how to handle objections and things like that. So I actually believe still in the brick and mortar.
Right.
Because I think it helps agents become better all around.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And if you overhear somebody have a conversation, you ask, hey, what were you talking about? You just learn.
Correct.
Just
yeah.
From, being next to somebody else. Okay, great. Okay, now I know when we spoke, which is, really kind of interesting, because when we spoke last year, it was around the January, February mark, and interest rates were high. They hit a peak in like October, and they started drifting down into the 6s. And 2023, same thing happened. Interest rates, went up into the 8s, even higher, and then started drifting down. And here we are in January, we're around the 6s. So to me, it's really amazing how the years almost duplicated themselves when it comes to that. But what are you finding? Like in 2023, what are the hardships of your agents, and how are you getting through them? What are you guys talking about?
I think a lot of it is the interest rate objections that you get from buyers. So buyers were so used to the 3%, 4% rates. When they were up into the 7 and 8s, it scares buyers. They look at the payment, the change of the interest payment, and it really scares people. So we've kind of focused on that saying, date the rate, buy the house kind of thing, because we know the rates are going to come down. So we've been trying to push for that, because we've also explained supply and demand, how, when the interest rates come down, a demand and the prices are going to go up higher. So if you have a better chance of buying a house at a higher rate but a lower price, I think it makes the most sense. And that's kind of where we've been trying to educate clients, agents, and just trying to push them along and educate them to get through it.
Okay. And then what have you seen just as far as just volume through your office? How are you succeeding? How are you guys getting ahead? Because if you have 80 agents, now you have 100 plus, you're not losing agents, you're actually growing. So, at this time, there's a lot of agents getting out. So what's going on there? I
think it's a twofold answer. So from a company standpoint, our numbers have increased because the agent volume has increased. But from an agent standpoint, I believe that the volume has gone down. The amount of closed transactions per agent has decreased, not dramatically. I think a lot of agents are definitely going to leave the industry in 2024, especially Pennsylvania, with continuing education, license renewal, and they've realized how difficult the industry is in the last year and a half. So I think agent count's going to go down. which is going to actually create more volume for the agents that are full-time and really in this for the long term.
Okay. And then when you're saying you're having conversations about interest rate shock versus, hey, when the interest rates are higher, there's less competition, so you don't have to bid over ask, you can do inspections, all that kind of stuff, that you tell them, because you, as you said, you can always refinance, but if you pay $50,000 more for the house, that you can't do anything about.
Yeah.
So what other challenges? Like if you had this crystal ball and you could go back to January 1, 2023, what would you be doing yourself and what would you be telling your agents?
If I go back to January 1st, 2023,
or 23.
23.
Yeah, 23.
No, you said 23. I think if I could go back and change, I think I would just keep having the same conversations I was having. I don't think we can really change what the market is. I think it's understanding it and just keep putting the information out there to buyers or sellers. I don't know if I would change what I actually did from that point, like because I've gone back and thought about it, and I feel like what we did was the best course of action that was out there.
Okay, well, let me throw another question at you. What would you do? And I didn't give you any of these questions, right? So I'm catching you.
You're catching me. That's why I hesitate a little bit there.
Okay, so when you first started, how long have you been a realtor?
I got my license in 2007.
Okay. So if you could go back to 2007, what would be knowing what you know today, what would be the one thing you would implement immediately?
I would buy more properties. 100%.
Okay, not that. I'm talking about you as a realtor.
Me as a realtor. I think I would just go back to teaching more of the clients, like what's going on with the industry. I'm focused on now. I'm focused on education now. I think education creates conversations, which creates relationships. So for the first probably 10 years of my real estate journey, I didn't focus on educating. I focused on selling.
Just transactions.
Just transactions, because I didn't know any better. If I could go back in time, I would focus on, educating myself more and learning more and teaching more from that aspect.
Okay. So, now let's go back to what was the one thing that you did when you first started that you kicked yourself in the head and said, man, I would never do that again? Was there any one thing, or, did you just knock on doors and say, hey, give me business? What was that one thing, if there was?
I think always asking for business is something that why a lot of people fail. So when back in 2007, 2008, I was always asking, hey, let me help you buy a home. Let me help you sell a home. And I think it made it a lot harder because people are like, I don't want to do that right now. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. So if I could go back, it would be have better conversations with everybody all around.
Okay. So let me jump into what you said, because you said it twice now, conversations, because I'm a big believer that you have to have as many conversations. You're not a secret agent. You want to talk to everybody in the world saying, hey, this is what I do. And the more conversations you have and the more you keep on touch with them, when it's their time, they'll pull the trigger, right?
Yeah.
So, and that was one of the lines you said on your first one, when is the right time to buy? It's the right time. I forget what it was, but it was something like that, that you mentioned. So is that what you're feeling? Is that what you're trying to convey?
Yes, 100%. Like somebody told me before, like imagine you have an empty bucket. And the more people you put into your bucket on conversations, the bucket becomes so full. And the more people you stuff into the bucket, the more people that pop out of the bucket and end up buying or selling a home. So if you're not having conversations and you're not teaching people the way, how do you put people into this bucket and squeeze them out? It's not going to be that you have a conversation with somebody today and they buy or sell a home tomorrow. It could be you have a conversation today, you follow up with them, you stay in touch with them, happy birthday to them, whatever you have to do and keep the relationship going. And in time, they do come out of the bucket.
Right. And it could be 3-4 years later. But if you have 10,000 people in a bucket, 3-4 years later comes down a road where there's 100, people saying, hey, it's my time. They raise their hand.
Yeah, you have to constantly keep them updated on the market. We have clients that purchased a home, So if you purchased a home, I believe a client today is a client for life. So if you purchased a home today, the statistic says they're going to sell that home in 3 to 7 years. So if you follow up with them and you keep educating them with what's going on in the market, what's going on with the values in their neighborhood, they're going to come back. They're going to sell that home. They're going to buy another home with you.
Okay. So then the one question that I could see people asking is, how do I have these conversations? I just don't open up a telephone book, so what kind of strategy or what do you guys do at Honest, or what do you do personally to reach out and have as many conversations as possible?
A lot of it is social media based, which I say engagement on social media. If every day you get a list of whose birthday is it, so it's simply as saying, texting them saying, "Hey, happy birthday." It's a follow up. When you see little Billy playing baseball, it's simple as, "Hey, Billy's doing a great job playing baseball." It doesn't have to be always real estate related because you want to create a relationship with them too. It can't be agent client for life. It has to be a friendship because then that's how you build trust and that's how you build long-lasting relationships.
Okay, no, that's really smart. So yeah, if you go on Facebook, typically somebody may have 2,000 friends on Facebook and see what's going on and engage conversations there. Follow up with a phone call. Hey, it's your birthday. I saw it. Blah blah. That kind of thing.
Like I believe a lot of agents put so much pressure on trying to jam real estate down everyone's throat that's a turnoff. Like,
right.
And nothing against car salesmen, but you walk into a lot, what gets jammed down your throat? Buying a car before you walk off the lot. And I don't think it should be that way. I think it should be more friendship-based, relationship-based.
Right. But letting them know that, hey, by the way, if you have any friends, family members, coworkers, I'm here. Be sure to give my name. I'd really appreciate it.
Never be scared to ask for a referral.
Right. Exactly. And if they don't give you a referral, they don't have anybody. They're not rejecting you. It's just they don't have somebody right at that time.
Correct.
Right.
Or they don't like you and they don't want to anybody.
Well, don't say that. People get frustrated, right? But okay, good. Okay, so plans moving forward. What do you see in 2024? What do you think is going to happen in the market? Where is Honest Real Estate going in 2024?
So from the market standpoint, I believe rates are coming down. Is that correct?
I think they will come down a little bit, yes.
So I believe as the rates become lower, more buyers enter the marketplace, which for some reason is what every agent think is a saving grace. So I believe hey, the interest rates come down, more buyers come into market, more affordability, but it's also going to create, where we're based, right? We're based in the city of Philadelphia, so I can't speak on every area.
Right.
As the rates come down, it creates more competition based on the neighborhood, based on the area, which is ultimately going to drive the prices up higher because of demand and competition. So I think it's a blessing because people would rather work with more buyers, be out showing more homes, but it doesn't mean that it's going to make it easier for the agents or it's going to make it easier for the buyers, right? So I think that's one aspect of it. From a seller perspective, it's going to be the same as we've dealt with before. If the competition's there, sellers are going to have fear of, if I sell, am I going to be able to buy something? I think all that comes back into play as the rates become lower, and hopefully they become lower because people think it's better for them. From a company standpoint, we're focused on expansion at this point. So we just opened a second location. We're focused on bringing agents on. We're focused on some recruiting this year, which we've never really have done in the last years. It's all been word of mouth.
Right.
So we're focused on some recruiting. We have a couple agents within. We believe in building agents up that are with us. We don't believe in bringing in complete outsiders to expand. So we have an agent right now going for their New Jersey broker license. So we plan to open an actual location in New Jersey.
Right.
We are licensed in New Jersey, but we work out of a Pennsylvania location. So part of the expansion is building up an agent that's within, going for their broker license when they pass. I'm going to focus on opening a location over there. And then I think we've talked about going for the state of Delaware. I've completed all my classes, my education. I just have to go take the exam.
Right.
We notice a lot of the older generation, late 60s, 70s, they want to move out of the city of Philadelphia.
Right.
They can't afford taxes in Bucks County, in New Jersey, so they're looking at Delaware. The taxes are extremely low, the real estate taxes. So we're starting to see people relocate to Delaware, so we want to be part of that as well. So we don't have to refer it to another company. We can just have agents within with the license and then can do it there as well.
Okay, great. So it's an ambitious plan, right?
Yeah.
Great. Okay, so now if somebody wanted to get a hold of you personally because they're buying or selling, or if they just want to know more about Honest Real Estate, how would they do that?
If you want to know more about Honest Real Estate, we're on Facebook. We're on Instagram as under Honest Real Estate. You can call our office. Numbers 215-904-6001. You can email us at office@honestrealestate.com. If you wanted to connect with me personally, you can call my cell phone, text my cell phone anytime. It's 267-231-7212.
Perfect. Okay. Well, thanks for coming on the show and 1 year anniversary, right?
Thanks for having me.
Time goes like that, doesn't it?
Jeez.
My goodness.
It's been fantastic, and you've always been part of our journey. It's amazing that you're by our side too. So it's fantastic.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Well, that's the Real Estate Show with Pat Lopez. Be sure to follow the show on Facebook and Instagram and subscribe below. I have great guests coming on all the time. We talk everything real estate, all different subjects. Also, leave a comment. Tell me things you like, you didn't like. Tell me subjects that you'd like me to cover, or if you have a great person that I should be interviewing on the podcast. Hope you enjoyed the show.